Welcome back. You're now under the sounds of El Kanoa, Kanoa Ali, Azoel, Maku Kaiser, Nubi, Serpent Panther, to the Damaru Society. However, I'm going to be doing a video, and this video and download a message is going to be to expose and uncover the truth about the so-called Moors, Aboriginals, Native Americans, and show you exactly who and what these individuals are. So give me some time and pay attention to why and how we should deal with this going forward. Now, I'm going to click this as a slideshow. Now, Moors versus Aboriginals debunked. I'm not going to go over the hour long or however long it is video unless I get, some support, or maybe I'll just do it later out of fun, to debunk all these morons and their distractions and their counter misinformation, things that these fools, these profane stains, won't take the time to do the proper research before they go and blabber to however many comes in the broom, 100, 250, 112. Doesn't matter the number. All that matters is that the energy of dissent has transferred from one to another. So let's hop right into it. Kalinago and Crumb Snatcher, hand in hand with their little Freemasonic handshake. Okay. Now, I'm putting this on last intro, so this is not going to be my most official. So let's take off our official titles and our our whole serious face off, and kind of just say what is and what isn't. So I don't want this to be a joke, but let's take a look at the bottom. You see these pictures, right? What's the common denominator between Moors and Aboriginals? Freemasonry. We see the collar, right? What are these dudes wearing? War bonnets. Are either of these dudes on the field? Are either of these dudes in the active war, but they got war bonnets on? Why? Okay, now I'm going to give you a brief history on the language that we're using. It is derivatives of Phoenician and a couple other different ancient languages, including Hebrew. And in Hebrew, derived into Greek. Okay? And then it devolved. It keeps on devolving. So it devolved from that, and now it devolved into this. Now it devolved into this. And I wanted to give you a quick overview that Hebrew specifically is going to tell us one thing that's very telling, that everything is in reverse, y'all. What is down is up, what is left is right, what is right is left. Hebrew alphabetical order. Note that the Hebrew is written from right to left rather than left to right in English. So Aleph is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and Tav is the last. Okay? Now, look at Aleph. Now, Aleph, if you turn this bad boy to the side, you got Z. Okay? If you turn Aleph to the side, you got Z. It kind of looks like an N, and it also resembles an X, as in X chromosomes. Aleph, Alit, or Allah. Now, let's keep on going. And the Tav, we'll go over that later. So A, first letter of the Roman alphabet, based on Greek alpha. See alpha. It says here a blood type. Now we're gonna get onto that. I just wanted y'all to just see that where this stuff is and the hints, the subtlety. You gotta read between the lines, y'all, and y'all gotta put two to two together. So B, also Greek. So this is originally Hebrew turned into Latin. All right, and if you change the L into an S and you turn the I into an A, you have Satan's alphabet. Okay, so you have Latin alphabet corresponding to Greek beta, Phoenician Beth. So I remember when I said Hebrew is a Phoenician. Okay, so literally house, Beth, house. Okay, so let's keep on moving. So alpha house, alpha beta. Says here, Greeks. What is a Greek? Do y'all know what a Greek is? Greeks, inhabitants of Greece. Early Germanic borrowing from Latin, Garis, or Garisi. Now, it says here the Germanic languages originally borrowed the word with the initial K. Okay, so the Greeks created all of what you see. Now, we're going to get into how the Greeks looked and all that stuff later. If y'all want me to go more deep in depth, we're going to go into that. But Ab, AB, alpha beta, word forming element. So when you put these two together, it's a word forming element meaning away from, off, or of, or o. Okay? Ab is away from o, denoting disjunction, separation, departure. So when ab, A and B combined, that separates the other word that is being formed to it, as in like abnormal. You would, common sense would go, oh, that's away from normal. You wouldn't say abnormal is normal, would you? Right. Would you say, when you hear Aboriginal, do you hear original or do you hear away from original? When I hear Aboriginal, I hear away from original. Maybe that's not what's clicking in your brain, but maybe that's because you're not comprehending the word because you're not doing the research, because you don't study English. You don't study the languages that you speak. You don't comprehend where this stuff's coming from, and you don't look at no kind of basic information. It's all out here on the internet. And you can also go into these lodges or libraries and do the researches there. It's all open to you. Okay? You're in the age of information, and you fools are still telling me that y'all are having these frivolous conversations with lesser degreed imbeciles. Okay? Who are leading you astray. The pathway to hell is paved with good intentions. Okay? Let's keep on going. Ab initio, Latin, literally from the beginning. So from Abe, from the beginning, the alphabet, the alpha house. We're gonna go to Aboriginal. Why they're so infatuated with this? Like, oh yeah, we're the first people, and I'm like, oh, you're the first, earliest existing from the beginning. Okay. Aboriginal. The specific Australian census is attested from 1820. So, says here the noun meaning an original inhabitant. Okay. Says here Aborigine. So Aboriginal is Aborigine plus owl together, according to the information gathered from etymology.com. And we're going to cross-reference this. We're going to we're not just gonna take this by itself. I'm every time I use etymology.com, I don't want y'all to think that that's like the end all be all to interpretation or any of that, right? I just want you to take it and observe it, bear witness to it, and utilize that. Now, with that being said, let's keep on moving. Aborigine, person, animal. So, Aborigine, which is first, owl, because that's where they're getting first. They're getting owl from first, existing. Now, if you take the owl off, then it becomes Aborigine. Now, Aborigine, person, animal, or plant that has been in a country or region from earliest times. Okay? So the Aborigines, unless you're an Aborigine, you're not an Aboriginal, okay? Because they have to put the AL to give you this first earliest existence redefining of an Aborigine. You see what I'm saying? The Anglo English is to bend. The word Anglo is angle. Angle is bend. So a Greek is an Anglo-Saxon. And they developed their words from the bending of the original meaning and the original context. That's why you have languages being written backwards and upside down from their original counterparts. Now, I got this from the Encyclopedia of Freemasonry. Albert G. Mackey, 33 Degrees, and Charles T. whatever his name is. Okay? So, the Encyclopedia for Freemasonries, or of Freemasonries, of Freemasonry, Aborigine is described this way. Aborigine, a secret society which existed in England. What? Okay, an Aborigine, a secret society which existed in England. Now I got the book right in front of me. Now I'm gonna read you what it says on the screen. Now let's see if y'all can follow with me. Follow with me. We ain't gonna go too deep, okay? I ain't gonna bust out the whole thing because we can see it right here in all its glory. Is it big enough for y'all? Can y'all read that? Is it big? Type in the comments if it's big enough. Type in the comments if you never seen this before. But I'm gonna read to you. A secret society which existed in English, which existed in England, the Anglo-Saxons. Okay, the twisted angles of whose ceremony initiation the following account is contained in the British magazine. Okay, on the date the president officer who has styled the original thus addressed the candidate. Okay, now it has some of the ritual. I'm a read it to you right now. Listen very closely. Original doesn't say Aboriginal, but it says original. Have you faith enough to be made an original? Listen to that, the first part. Original. Have you faith enough to be made an original? Be made an original. So that means you're not original. The Aborigines are going through a ceremony, through a secret society, possibly the first secret society, to become an original. All right. I have original. Will you be comfortable to all honest rules which may support steadily the honor, reputation, welfare, and dignity of our ancient undertaking? Then the candidate responds, I will. Okay? Okay, so the candidate and then the original. So the original of the Aboriginals, okay, brings them into being originals through these ceremonies. All right, if we're reading this right. So after the candidate says I will, the original says, then friend, Promise me that you will never stray from the paths of honor, freedom, honesty, sincerity, prudence, modesty, reputation, sobriety, and true friendship. And then candidate says, I do. Okay. So, y'all can read this, take a screenshot of this, and y'all let me know. I'm gonna keep it moving. Aboriginal Secret Occultism, Part 1. This is on YouTube, y'all. So I found this on YouTube, and I was like, whoa. And so over in Australia, they got so-called Aboriginals, which is abnormal, ab away from original, and all these mofos, all these Aboriginal Moors, aka Freemasons, and y'all know by they're saying all Shriners are Masons, but not all Masons are Shriners. Okay? Now, the Shriners, you'll see the fez. You don't see the fez on these Masons' heads, because I'm trying to tell you that there is a perversion from Masonry, which is in the holding of the original, and there's a perversion from the original by the Aboriginals. Okay, that's why this is where this is going. Aboriginal secret occultism. You see these? They're all doing the same stuff, except they're not doing the same stuff that these dudes are doing. I'm telling you, it's a whole different initiation and ceremonial ritual. This right here is a perversion of what's going on here. Okay? With the Aboriginals, who are led by the originals. Okay? Look here. What's the difference? Now, Noble Drew Ali is said to be a Cherokee Indian. And I'm like, Cherokee Indian? Most of us have been told that we were a part of the Cherokees. Okay? And a lot of us have our names on those DOS rolls. But you go ahead and apply to see if you could be a Cherokee and get any of those Cherokee benefits, and you'll find yourself hitting a brick wall. Because why? Because these are the Cherokee heads. Blonde hair, blue eyes, corporate Cherokee Freemasons. Take a look. Look at this dude. Look at these dudes. All these so-called Indians with their aprons on. Oh, wow. Wowie wow. And then you have guys like this, Aline Bay. Wow, this guy. So this guy, along with the Washita Nation, right? You know, I'm not the first person to call this dude a complete fraud, a complete agent. And if you don't know this by now, because I'm like, you've been studying this for how long, but you don't know what I'm telling you, and I'm not like this old mystic that's been trained to be a mystic since I was a child and some child prodigy. No, I'm an ex-gangbanger, ex-war chief, okay? Ex a lot of things, okay? Ex-meathead, okay? Ex-junkie, all right? You privileged fucks. Okay. Anyways, let's keep on going. Look at this guy, Malachi Ziorkel, Chief Black Thunderbird, whatever the hell. So he utilized Masonry to compel and to pretty much finesse the black community in New York at its worst time, when it was like in utter chaos after the riots and all this other stuff. He pretty much went there and Rochambeau the whole community, you know. And New York was pretty much like, well, you know, they're not so-called dangerous. But we come to find out that this guy is a Freemason. Don't nobody really talk about that. They don't never talk about his Freemasonry stuff. They always want to just talk about him being a pedophile and blah, blah, blah. But they don't never talk about him being a Shriner. They don't ever talk about him and his connection with Freemasonry. They don't never talk about that. And there's a lot of connections with Freemasons and pedophilia and MK Ultra mind control, especially with young children. If you sodomize with, aka anally penetrate infant child, that's how they create monarchs, aka multiple personalities. So when they get their hands on children, infants in particular, they forcefully penetrate their anal cavity to make them black out. And when they black out, these dudes do MK Ultra on them. Okay? All right, let's keep on going. It gets me a little bit hot talking about it. Like, I get hot, I get irritated, I get bothered by seeing these goddamn monkeys in their goddamn red outfits like they do, with his twinkle toe wearing ass. Okay? Now, we can't not talk about the Mad Empress of the Washita right here. The Mad Empress, who labeled the Washita Empire the Washita Nation, because the empire has been abandoned, and then they try to regather themselves as a nation. And this one allegedly filed with the UN and got the UN to recognize them initially. And then the recognition got taken and all this other stuff and blah, blah, blah. But what I wanted to show y'all is this one is a part of the collaboration or the descendanthood of the so-called five civilizations, 5 civilized tribes. Now, when you look into the word civilized, even look into the word tribe, look into all these words, and you'll find out that you don't want to be associated with nothing of the sorts. Okay? You don't want to be associated with that because they don't fit your best interest. The only interest that they will serve is in the interest in confusing and conquering you and those around you by submitting to religious, corporate overthrowing of or usurping your authority or your sovereignty with your own independent operation of existing to integrate with the Satans who wear these satanic fezzes. Okay? Now, the 5 civilized tribes, the term 5 civilized tribes derives from the colonial and early federal period in the history of the United States. It refers to the 5 American nations, okay? The 5 Native American nations, the Creek, Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, and Seminole, okay? So the Creek, I don't know why they always got to do the Creek, aka Muskogee, because Cherokee ain't even their names. Their names Aniwani or whatever. Aniwia. I think that is it. Aniwia or Aniwia. Chickasaw. Okay? But look at the heads of them. Look at them. Pale, spray tanned. Goddamn. What are they? They're pale people. These are black. They're black. They're clearly black. To me, all these motherfuckers are part of the black nobility. Okay? Which is connected to the other pale vampires, such as Queen Elizabeth, who dresses up as a Knights Templar with all these other fake Knights Templars, who not real Knights Templars, but who are fake, who are frauds, who have usurped and conquered and hidden themselves away in the traditions of old, and have created this elaborate hoax, this elaborate smokescreen of deception and lies propagated in these Hollywood movies, along with some of these publications and authors. So, Confederate Brigadier General Albert Pike negotiated treaties between all 5 tribes. All 5 of those civilized tribes. Albert Pike, pretty much the founding father of America, okay? The founding father is Albert Pike. He authorized in creation of regiments for home defense with treaty stipulations that these Indian soldiers were not required to leave the territory. So, the Ku Klux Klan, Grand Wizard, Warlock, Albert Pike, Freemason, High Witch, in his goddamn dress. Look at this. This dude's in a literal dress. He's a cross-dresser. Okay? So, this high-ranking cross-dressing witch. Okay. Once the Confederate was formed, Pike had many contracts among Native American tribal leaders and had helped the Creeks and other tribes obtain $800,000 in a long court battle with the federal government. So, hold up. So, Albert Pike was like, hey, I'm with you, Native Americans. Let me hook you up with this money and everything so you could build around me, and I'll use you as a private army. As long as you, pledge your loyalty and, Freemasonry and all that, and blah, 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 aka Satanism. Be Satanist witch with us, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So, they said yeah, especially this guy. It says here, Native Americans, and he was able to convince most of not most, but all of these motherfuckers, Indian leaders to support the Confederacy. On October 7th, 1861, he negotiated a treaty with Chief John Ross of the Cherokee Nation. So the Cherokee Nations, aka the Aniniwanis, were the first to accept negotiations and created one of the first treaties with the Freemason witch Albert Pike. Here goes John Ross. Here goes a photo. They don't just have paintings and pictures like most. They actually got a photo of this dude. Look at this dude. Look at those brows. Holy crap. This dude looks hella Jewish. Those are some Jewish brows if I ever see them, yo. It says here, was the principal chief of the Cherokee Nation from 1828 to 1866, serving longer in this position than any other person, described as the Moses of his people. Ross influenced the Indian nation through such tumultuous events as the relocation to Indian Territory and the American Civil War. So, look at him in his Freemason top hat. Might even have Freemason gloves, but look at him. Dressed just like a Freemason. You don't see nothing traditional Indian or so-called traditional about this dude. So, this dude is the Moses of the Native Americans? Of course he is. So look at this. Look at this, y'all. So Indians, definitely Native Americans specifically, are a product and literally a creation of the Freemasons. Now, Aboriginal bloodlines, the ABO, the original bloodlines. You remember when A was talking about blood types? The A, the alpha, beta, omega, or omicron. Now, let's take a look at the ABO blood group system. Now we got the A's, which is Group A. They have red blood cell type. And look at these are like circles. And these are like diamond shaped. Now what are these? These are antigens. These little prickly things, which is a mutation. Alright? These are mutations. So these mutations are called antigens. So why is that significant? Because you can see that the ABO starts with the O. So this is actually the beginning and the A is the end. The O's are the beginning and the A's are the end product of genetic stripping and bio tampering. Look at this. So the O's. Notice that the O's don't have antigens. The O's do not possess antigens, but they have antibodies. They have antibodies against who? Anti-A negative and anti-B negative. So they have antigens or antibodies that protect its original blood from the A's or B's or combination of both. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? So that means the O is the original bloodline. And these are mutant bloodlines that are causing havoc through this reality. The AB originals, the aboriginals are away from original. So this is how your blood has strayed. And the way to cure this is by reincarnating through the O's, through the original bloodlines. Okay? Getting this bloodline to die out, because they are dying out. Y'all can't reproduce. Y'all know what happens to the so-called women that have this bloodline? The ABs? They have to get a shot called Rogram. Because if they don't have the shot Rogram and they have a baby, either the A or the B blood type will start having a civil war inside of one another unless they fuse together naturally or with the chemical called Rogam, which has mercury lead in it, which AKA means it's poisonous. Okay, so a lot of so-called women get this Rogam shot and end up miscarrying. Okay, end up miscarrying because it's poison. Duh. But anyways, average blood types of the population. Look at this. These are just Google stock images that I found. Now, according to the majority of all studies and research, the O bloods are the majority of the blood population on the planet. Okay? The O's. The O's. And at the very second is the A's. Now, where's the A's in the world? Where are the A blood types? The majority of them in the world. They're up here, where? At the Caucasus Mountains. The Caucasus. The Asians. The damn Germans. Germany. The UK's, the Brits. That's where the damn alphas are. Or what they call the alphas. Okay? Now, the O is the entire globe, pretty much. This is the world is ran by O positives. And I'm an O positive. So I'm part of that great bloodline that is the most dominant bloodline on the planet. So with that being said, y'all, we get into that, and that's going to be for another presentation. I wanted to show y'all also that in connection, I have a video on YouTube that I want y'all to see and hear that's in reference to these 5 tribes, because I don't want y'all to just hear it from me. I want y'all to hear it from the horse's mouth. So I'm gonna play that video and then I'm gonna end the video. But I want y'all to hear it from the horse's mouth. We're gonna hear it from Freemasons themselves, telling us exactly who was the leaderships of the 5 tribes, and that they in fact are knowing that they've stolen and that they've done some pretty disgusting things. But let's hear it, y'all.
In Indian territory, this mystic tie became apparent in a very real sense. I will limit my remarks primarily to the 5 civilized tribes. Those include the Cherokee, Creek, Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Seminole nations, as these were the major tribal governments originally situated south of the Ohio and east of the Mississippi rivers, and each were independent nations in and of themselves before and after the Revolution. Each also took sides against America during the Revolution. Each was forcibly removed to Indian Territory west of Arkansas by the United States government, and the leaders of each of the 5 civilized tribes were Masons. And the leaders of each of the 5 civilized tribes were Masons.
And the leaders of each of the 5 civilized tribes were Masons.
Shout out to this dude, because this is how I found this video. Was this dude's name? Hawk School, American Indians and the 5 civilized tribes. Go check out that video. Go support it. Go give them a like. Let them know I sent you. But anyways, that is the video, and I appreciate y'all. And this is Aboriginal Moors exposed for the Freemason agent liars that they are. And I'm out. Peace, one love from the original. White power.